Hi, and welcome to Rewire the Mind for everything to do with wellness, well-being, and therapy. So today I want to talk to you about breaking your nightly wine habit. Now, dealing with people who are drinking a little bit too much in the evening is one of our most popular therapy programs that we have. And over the past few years, it's very clear that considerable changes have taken place in our drinking habits, particularly when it comes to wine. Once upon a time, you may have just had a glass or two of wine at a dinner party or maybe a social occasion or a pub or a bar. But now it's become a staple of many people's night routines. They arrive home from work, they feel tired and stressed, and they reach out for something to unwind. The problem is that for many people, they're unable to stick to just a glass or two and end up drinking the whole bottle or sometimes a lot more. Breaking a nightly wine habit is something we need to talk about, as heavy drinking clearly has a big detrimental impact on your health. So why do you crave wine at night? Well, there are a number of reasons why you might find that craving appearing. And the first is a simple one. You've had a stressful day and your mind feels it needs something to unwind and relax, to switch off basically. It knows that wine is capable of taking the edge off your stress levels, and so you pour yourself a glass and get a rush of feel-good endorphins. Repeat this a number of times and you've trained yourself to respond to stress with glass after glass of wine. And the second reason is classic conditioning. And all that means is if you do the same thing at the same time, every day in the same location, your mind gets used to responding in the same way. So if you try and break the pattern, your mind is going to resist because it wants to keep on doing what it's used to. So imagine you come home on the 1st of January this year and you take off your coat and pour yourself a glass of wine and then start cooking dinner. And then you do this every weekday night for the rest of this year. On January the 1st next year, when you decide you want to cut down on your drinking and you arrive home and resolve to do that, you're going to find that your brain is going to resist because you've trained it to want the glass of wine. So when the routine isn't followed, then you're going to find that your mind is going to protest. So when you think about the psychological factors of stress and then the negative emotions that a person might also be feeling, as well as classic conditioning, as well as the fact that there's an easy access to booze now in your house, breaking the nightly wine habit starts to become a little bit problematic for many people. So is it bad to have a glass of wine every night? Before we go into how you can stop it, well, there are definitely two schools of thought on this. Some people believe, and studies have shown, that drinking in moderation might be okay when it comes to red wine, in particular to help your heart health and staves off Alzheimer's. But other studies have shown that moderate drinking can also have a negative impact, in particular when it comes to increasing your cancer risk. There are clearly two schools of thoughts. We do know that the guidelines in the United States allow you to have one glass of wine if you're a woman each evening. But that doesn't mean to say you should go and automatically do that. What we suggest to our clients is reducing and having alcohol-free days. So rather than drinking bottles or glass after glass, to try and limit. Remember, anything you're doing to limiting is going to be of some help, because clearly it isn't healthy to drink to excess. Trying to find a balance, if you can, is probably the best solution, especially for people who are on the excessive side of that drinking scale. Breaking the nightly wine habit means understanding why you're drinking every night, and particularly after work. We always ask our clients in-depth questions to determine why they feel they're doing what they're doing. Are they working too hard? Is the job they're doing too stressful? Is there somebody at their work who's creating problems for them? Are their kids driving them mad? Start to think about the aspects of your life that could be causing the need for you to have a drink and the need for you to switch off. If you don't address some of these underlying problems that are associated with your life, then the drinking problem is going to be 10 times harder to manage. So how exactly do you go about stopping your cravings for wine in the evening? Well, one of our strategies is for our clients is to mix up their nighttime routine so that the classic conditioning is far more difficult to kick in. It means that when you arrive home at 7, you need to be doing something very different to what you were doing before. Mixing up your routines makes it harder for your mind to set off that drinking trigger. So as an example, if you come indoors and go straight upstairs and run a hot bath, you've taken the trip to the wine rack or the wine fridge off the agenda. The mind is now occupied with doing another activity that's not associated with wine. Occupying your mind with different activities which are not associated with alcohol is important if you want to break those cravings. You need to work out a plan of action for what you can do when you come home after work that will change those old routines. That might be going for a walk, sitting in a different room, doing a hobby that involves both of your hands, or even ringing a friend for a talk. Placing your attention on doing something else is important, as when your mind has time to think, it will invariably think about wine. You need to keep your mind occupied so it doesn't have that craving. Remember, breaking the nightly wine habit requires a little bit of effort on your part, but over time, as you start to break these habits, it will get easier. If you want to stop drinking wine or moderate your intake, there are other things you can also do as well as tackling your habit and the cravings. Firstly, an obvious one. Don't have wine in the house. The problem is that many drinkers now have a cellar, a wine fridge, or a place where they can store a large amount of wine. When wine's in the house, it's so much easier to give in to temptation. Try and limit the amount of wine that you store in your home. Buy small bottles instead of larger ones. Don't bulk buy wine in the supermarket offers to save money. And the next thing is try and identify your triggers. We've talked about stress and negative emotions, but there can be other triggers that make you want to have a drink. If you have a partner who drinks, that can be one trigger that's often not spoken about. So you might need to try and get them to also reduce their intake at the same time as yours if you can. Certain friends can also trigger the urge to drink. If that is the case, you need to plan activities with them that don't involve drinking. Start to learn some coping mechanisms that will help you with your underlying problems. You might need to alter your lifestyle to make that happen. Exercise, for example, is great at helping with stress and anxiety, so you could try and make that part of your evening routine. You need to try and create positive changes, in your life completely. And that means taking a holistic approach to look at all aspects of your life to see where you can make improvements and alter those habits. We have some drink less worksheets on our website that you can use to understand what your triggers are and to try and help you control those cravings. It comes as a PDF that you can print out time and time again, and it allows you to track your drinking habits, your emotions, and your thoughts. Self-hypnosis to moderate your drinking can be another great tool to help you change your subconscious mindset around alcohol. Self-hypnosis can help you to alter those old thought patterns and the need for the alcohol, and as well as increasing your motivation and willpower to change. You can use your self-hypnosis audio at the time where you'd normally come home and have a drink. It acts as an interrupt to your pattern, so that can be helpful for you. On our Drink Less program that we do with our clients, all our clients get a self-hypnosis download to help them change their habits. And we recommend that they listen to this daily to alter the way that they drink. You can buy that as well on our website, even if you're not part of the program, to see if you can use it as part of your self-help strategies. To find out more information on alcohol and how you can start to reduce and moderate what you're drinking night after night, you can head on over to our website, rewirethemind.com. It has blogs and worksheets, downloads, and of course therapists who can help you to drink less.